Hey people of the VC, Andy back, another 80s vinyl update. So this is part two of my birthday digging day haul. So if you recall on the my last video, I'd gone to a new record shop in Edinburgh, the Record Shack, and picked up some good finds. I wasn't done after that. After a bit of lunch, I took a walk to the other side of town to one of my usual haunts, Unknown Pleasures, and had a good browse through there and picked up some other records, five to be precise, and those are what I'm going to show you now. So start off. So first up, an addition to my Yngwie Malmsteen collection on vinyl. Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force, Marching Out. So this is his second album on Polydor, 1985, his UK pressing. Good, so I'm only missing the Rising Force debut album now, and would have completed my my 80s Malmsteen on vinyl anyway. Nothing, just plain white inner, no lyrics or anything. With this, whether one came with the original, when it was originally released, I don't know. It's obviously secondhand. Has Jeff Scott Soto on vocals. This is the first time I've heard his vocals on Malmsteen album, and wasn't convinced the first time I listened to this, but I've listened to it a couple of times now, and I really like it. His voice really suits the music well, and the song. So bit of a mixed bag. You know, there's Malmsteen could have gone the route, I guess, of say Tony McAlpine and just done instrumental albums, which I kind of like those albums, but I also like the fact that he's got a band, and you know, there are lyrics and good songs here. Obviously there are a couple of instrumentals on here, Overture 1383 and Marching Out, but there's some good, you know, good heavy metal tracks on here. My favourite is probably Disciples of Hell on the A side, and that's actually probably the least sort of Malmsteen song on here. Really, there's not really that many ripping guitar solos on it, and it's got quite a good, almost Maiden-esque rhythm to it. But I think that's a great song. So on Polydor, black vinyl. Can't see that very well. Try to keep them in the sleeves, not get too much glare. Nothing too special to see in there, but happy to have that in the collection. Next up, Cinderella, Long Cold Winter. Again, second album from these guys. I've only listened to this once so far, and I'm not convinced by it. I'm a little disappointed. I really liked the first album, but a lot of that's for sentimental reasons, I think. So Cinderella were the first band that I actually ever saw live. They were opening act at a festival. So by virtue of that, they were the first. They were not the band I necessarily went to see, but I've always liked them since then, and always really liked Night Song. So I was quite keen to pick up. But this one seems a little bit more. It's a little bit more ballady, and I need to give it another go, really. But it's in excellent condition. Lyrics all on the inner. So this is on Phonogram, 1988. Phonogram? Yeah, Phonogram Vertigo. Yeah. Again, quite generic label. Oh, phonogram and Vertigo. And I'm just mumbling now. So let's move on to the next one. This is quite a cool one. Again, a bit of a blind buy. But Eviction, The World Is Ours Away. I kind of guessed it was a thrash band. It sounded like, well, look at these guys. They look like a thrash band. And actually so this is what Music for Nations, Metal Blade Records. So I kind of figured whatever it is, I'll probably like it. So plain black vinyl. The songs on here are very. This is kind of serious heavy metal. There's nothing light-hearted about this. It's all anti-drugs, drinks, politics, heavy going lyric-wise. We've got lyrics and the thank yous. So Eviction, they're termed a thrash band. It's more of a thrash album, but it's also, I guess, crossover sound to this as well. I think if you were expecting just a full-on thrash album, and you didn't like crossover, you may be disappointed. I'm not a huge fan of crossover, but this album has its moments. This is their only album that they had, certainly on Metal Blade. If you read a few reviews, they say they kind of either got dropped or they faded away into obscurity. But if you dig a little bit deeper, there's a couple of them. I think it's Todd Porter, the vocalist, and Rob Tabachia on guitar. They actually went on to form another band, which I can't remember what they're called, but they were more of a punk hardcore band. So clearly they thought that thrash, maybe not, thought that the thrash wasn't the direction they wanted to go, and they wanted to be a bit more of a punk hardcore band. But this is an interesting album. I've listened to it a couple of times so far. The artwork is awesome. I like some of these sort of hand-drawn albums. Lots of details. Yeah, great. So it's an interesting one. Never heard of it before, but yeah, good. Eviction. The World Is Ours Away. Right. So this is the Blue Oyster Cult Extraterrestrial Live, 1982 on CBS. I love always love seeing this on an album. Home taping, Killing Music. Where are we looking here? So we're looking, so 1982 UK pressing, double live album. To me, that's how live albums should be. Should always be double. But great artwork on the inside. Lyrics. I think the inners were just generic white sleeves. So my first Blue Oyster Cult on vinyl. Back in the 80s, I had a couple of their albums, but they were just things I taped from others. But tracks on here that stand out for me, and ones I love, are Don't Fear the Reaper and Black Blade, are two of the favourite tracks I know. But it's a band I want to get a little bit more into. Certainly, if I see more on vinyl, I'll pick it up in the future. But very happy to add this to the collection. It's listened to it a few times, and yeah, it's just a great live album. And last, but certainly not least, this is an album I've been looking out for quite some time and not quite pulled the trigger, usually down to cost. but as it was my birthday, I thought I'd treat myself. Classic, don't need to say too much about this one. Motorhead, Ace of Spades, 1980, on bronze, UK pressing. Yeah, UK pressing. It does have a hole, drill hole, which seems to have been. It looks more like it doesn't. It's not really a drill hole, but it's been. It would go all the way through. It looks like it's been punctured rather than anything else. There's a certain amount of wear on here. I'm not seeing too many copies about. I mean, certainly on Discogs you could get it. I nearly bought a copy off Discogs a couple of months back, but the deal fell through when some of the other records that I wanted in the package, the guy had already sold elsewhere, which was annoying. But again, plain white generic sleeve. Killer tracks on here. Ace of Spades, obviously. Chases Better Than a Catch, The Hammer. We Are the Road Crew. Yeah, very good. So I'm glad I got this. Cost me about £12, which is not too bad. I've seen it a little bit cheaper elsewhere, but certainly whereas there's a bit of damage on the cover, the record itself is in good shape and plays well. So there we have it. That concludes the certainly my day of digging in Edinburgh's record shops. There's still a couple of record shops in Edinburgh that I've not got into yet, and I need to get some time to have a dig in them, because I'm sure there's some really cool stuff out there that I'm missing. But that's basically that's what I spent my day off doing. It was great. It's the first time I've done that, so I'm sure I'll do it again next year. I have got I did, as I say, overindulge myself a bit, and I've got a ton of other stuff to show, which is a lot of newer stuff, which will come up in an upcoming video. But yeah, let me know what you think of these records. Leave a comment. Always like to talk metal with you guys. Thank you for all the new subs. I've jumped up quite a lot in the last month or so as well, up to 80 plus. So we're fantastic. Maybe I'm doing something right after all. Yeah, I should end this now, because I'm not ending this at all, am I? Okay. Cheers, bye.